Good afternoon, it's Fellside Boy, and today we're going to do some baking. Sticking with the Cumbrian theme, we've got a Taste of Cumbria cookbook out, and what I'm going to make is a recipe that my grandma, I used to call her Nana, it was my grandma, but Nana was the name we called her, Nana from Park End at Calderbeck. This was one of the recipes she used to make. So it's called rolled gingerbread. Now in this book, there's a rolled gingerbread in brackets 1 and a rolled gingerbread in brackets 2. Rolled gingerbread's in bracket 1, and it actually says on the page, an old Cumbrian recipe from the Calderbeck area. So it's a traditional recipe, not just from Cumbria, but this is a traditional Calderbeck recipe we're using today. And I've checked what's the difference between this rolled gingerbread and the second recipe for rolled gingerbread. And the main difference is that the Calderbeck based one has a lot more spices. The other one just has ginger in it, but this one has mixed spice and cinnamon as well. So it's a lovely, tasty recipe once it's been done. Okay. I'm going to spin the book round and Charlotte will focus on the recipe just for a little bit. It's very basic, very simple, but you can get the ingredients there. A little bit about it. Once we've made this, you know how gingerbread, normal gingerbread is it's quite a sticky type of cake, and then the Grasmere gingerbread is a more of a biscuit type thing, isn't it? Well, this is somewhere in between. It's quite a dry cake in the end, but it's somewhere between a cake and a biscuit, I would say. So that's the sort of texture we'll have at the end of this. Okay, while Charlotte's filming that, I'm just going to switch the oven on. And I'll be ready for when we need it. Right, ready to go. One take, let's see if we can do this. So, pound of flour, plain flour. In it we add the dry ingredients. So, 7 ounces of caster sugar going in. I'll bring it closer to you, Charlotte. 7 ounces of caster sugar going in. Then we've got bicarbonate of soda. 1.5 of that, and all these lovely spices. And we've got a teaspoon of each of these. So what's this one? Cinnamon. Good teaspoon of that in. Mixed spice. Good. Teaspoon of that in. And then we've got the ginger. That gives it its ginger flavour. I'm running out of this, but enough. And then also, goes out the way, a level teaspoon of salt goes in. So just a level one of that. Should do it. That's the dry ingredients so far. So it's a nice one for kids to do this because we can pretty much use our hands for most of this. Just going to mix all those ingredients up. Oh, I can smell it. It smells lovely, doesn't it, Charlotte? So all those spices mixing together. Lovely aroma. Okay, next we get the lard. So we've got 6 ounces of lard. I'm just going to cut it into small bits as I pop that in. So my Nana at Park End, shall I tell you a bit about her? Nana and Granda at Park End, and if I'm honest, I don't remember Nana doing a lot of cooking, a lot of baking. Not my other grandma used to do loads, but grandma, my Nana at Park End, didn't do that much baking from what I can remember, but this is one of the recipes that I do remember, and it's a sort of Moorish type cake. And it's perfect for having with a cup of tea because it's quite dry, this cake. When you're finished, it goes really nice with a cup of tea, something like that. So the lard's in, and I'm just going to gently fold it into the dry ingredients. Just going to take a few minutes this. Okay. So we've been doing that a couple of minutes now, and it's got the texture, that breadcrumby type texture that we're looking for. Okay, so next stage. Next we need half a cup of hot water. There. Slightly too much, drop a little bit out. And this is where things start to get messy because we've got the black treacle to add. And the hot water is basically to help us get this black treacle in without everything being stuck. So this is where the fun will start. So we need 2 tablespoons of black treacle. Water first because that'll just help soften it first. It'll be a little bit easier to get into our mixture without getting everywhere. He says, we'll see. That's 1. And that's 2. Because they weren't quite full ones, I'm going to put a little bit more in. Wee bit more. So 2 tablespoons, but you know, don't skimp on the treacle would be my advice. You can't go wrong with a bit of treacle. Right, let me get that out of the way. So this hot water, I'm just going to gently stir it around, and it just makes the treacle a little bit more runnier for when we go in here. Now the kids will love making this because it's going to get very messy now. Yeah, but you can see it's nice and runny now. All the treacle's nice and runny, and we can get it into this. Oh, can you smell that treacle? Charlotte, smell that treacle. Lovely treacle. Now treacle, when I smell that treacle, we used to have treacle blocks that the sheep used to have. We used to give them a bit of nutrition on the fells, a bit of energy on the fells. And it just reminds me of that smell that the sheep used to be licking at these treacle blocks in the middle of the fell. So I'm just going to make a hole in the middle of that. I'm going to tip my treacle in. A little touch of water, last little bit out. Last bit in. And then here goes. We just gently start mixing it in. Oh, it warms your hands as well on a winter's day. Okay, now that's too wet at the moment, so I'm just going to keep working it a little bit. Yeah, and then Charlotte, I want you to that, you can see that is really sticky now, so that's a little bit wet for the mixture at the moment, so I need it to dry up a bit. So this is where we can add just a little bit more flour in. So Charlotte, do you want to just pop and get me the flour? Yeah, so that's what you're looking for. Yeah, all the ingredients now, it's all just coming together into a dough, and you can work it quite nicely and it just picks all those bits. Alright, so when we've got a nice mixture like that, see, ball of dough type material, perfect. Right, all that goes out the way, and we're bringing in the baking tray. So I've pre-greased the baking tray, and I'm going to make two. You just need a flat baking tray. It needs to be rolled out to it's about probably about 2 inches thick all over. It doesn't have to be too neat, anything like that. I'm just going to keep a little bit out. It's Valentine's Day in a couple of days, so we're sneakily going to make my wife a little rolled gingerbread cake for Valentine's Day. Save me a few pound on a bunch of flowers. Right, so I'll keep a little bit out for the other one. Put that to one side. Just get a bit more flour on it off this. So just start flattening it out. Again, it doesn't have to be too particular with this. I guess. A rolling pin somewhere. Here we are. Touch of flour on it. Sprinkle on there. Keep it on the rolling pin. Nicely got to roll it now. Bigger and bigger. And don't worry about it being quite rough and ready, because that's absolutely fine with this. It will sort itself out in the oven. So I'm using the sides of the tin as a rough guide on how thick to get this, and it's probably an inch or so, maybe an inch and a half thick. Yeah, I'm just going to give it a little bit more shape to it. Just square the edges up a touch, but you don't need to worry too much, to be honest. Very fine. Okay, that'll do. What we need to do. Right, we'll do the love heart one as well. Just going to plonk that in. Okay, it's pre-greased, so we'll plonk it in. We'll just mould it around the edges. It's quite easy to work this. There we go. So we've just got to put a little pattern on the top now to get a fork at the drawer. I'm going to put the pattern that I remember Nana used to put on them. So it's little lines like this. And then similar in the opposite direction there. Perfect. I'm going nice simmering here. Might just do around the edge here in the heart shape. That's not working, can't get me forking. Just put some lines across it. That's fine. Okay, so the next thing is to make sure that the oven isn't too hot. You do not want this to cook any quicker than it's meant to. So it says 180 degrees for 40 minutes. I'm looking on this and it's perfect, just about on 180 degrees. So this is going in, and this is going in. Time is going on, 40 minutes. And while that's doing that, I'm going to wash my hands. See you in a minute. Right, the buzzer's just gone off. It's a pity we don't have smelly vision, because in the kitchen at the moment there's just this lovely smell of all the spices that we put in, the ingredients, and it smells great. So the buzzer's just gone, so we'll get it out and see what it looks like. There we go, looking fantastic that. I'm just going to plonk that one up there. Oven off, and there's the Love Heart one too. Looks fantastic. Right, I'm going to leave them to cool a little while, and then we'll cut them up and we'll get ready to have a cup of tea with them later. What I would say, last thing I would say, is that it's important you just eat these as it is. You don't need to put ice in and things like that on top. Perfect as it is. Okay. It's about an hour or so now since we took the rolled gingerbread out of the oven. It's cooled down nicely now, so we're just going to cut it and show you what it looks like inside. So when you're cutting it up, you want to cut it into squares of about 3 inches by 3 inches. You don't want massive bits of this with your drink, but just enough to so it's quite crunchy on the edges but lovely and soft in the middle. Just lift that up, you'll be able to see what it looks like. It's quite firm in the middle. A little bit of moisture there, but it does dry out quite quickly, but that's normal for it. That's how it's meant to be, yeah? Okay. So I'm just going to, if it doesn't stick at all, cut a couple of slices. So I'd say that's roughly the size you need to cut. Right, Charlotte's going to pass me the camera now, and we made this one for Kath, my wife, for Valentine's Day in a couple of days' time. So she wants to take this one out and see what it looks like. Now there's only one last thing to do. So I've had a cup of tea brewing here beside us while we've been chatting. Pour that out. Touch of milk. Little stir. Rolled gingerbread. Cup of tea. Perfect. I'm off to enjoy it. Bye. Good afternoon everybody, it's Fellside Boy, and today we are going to do a bit of baking, and it's going to be, right, I don't like this bit, stop again, stop it altogether, I need to think. I'm just going to go down and have a think about